Hello, everyone. Good day. We are the Pharmaceutical Industry Group, and today we will be discussing to you the wastewater management of the pharmaceutical industry. But now let's first take a look on the table of contents that we will be discussing for today. So first, we will be introducing the pharmaceutical industry up to the hierarchy of waste management, up to the analysis of the proposed solutions that we will be giving to you. But first of all, let us discuss first what is the pharmaceutical industry. According to the National Institute of Health, pharmaceutical industry refers to the segment of business devoted to the design, development, and manufacture of chemical products for use in the diagnosis and treatment of disease, disability, or other dysfunction. So the mere fact that we are purchasing a medicine in a pharmacy store, we are being part already of the pharmaceutical industry supply chain. And now, let's take a look on the modern pharmaceutical industry today, the history, the current position, and challenges. I will not be diving deeper into these discussions since we will not be focusing mainly here, but the evolution of modern medicine and drug development started in the 19th century, which advances in science and bacteriology led to the modern pharmaceutical industry that we have today. And these key figures include Ignaz Semmelweis, Robert Koch, and some major breakthroughs like DNA structure discovery and molecular biology's advances. And the growth of large pharmaceutical companies that originated as well in the 19th century paved the way in mergers, biotechnology partnerships, and regulatory challenges. In 2000s, industry became highly profitable with over 200 major companies globally. So for the research and development of pharmaceutical industry, there are a lot of companies that have been paving through its ways, especially during the pandemic. I think we're very familiar with Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, GSK, Roche, and Novartis and Merck. And these pharmaceutical industries really are paving research and development trends in the pharmaceutical industry. So for profitability and market trends, the global market of the pharmaceutical industry is expected to exceed $600 billion. And with the future challenges and opportunities wherein it will be scrutinized its pricing strategy, the patent monopolies and accessibility. However, there will be also regulatory pressures, ethical concerns, and market competitions that shape the industry's future.
At the top of the hierarchy, we have prevention, which focuses on reducing waste generation at the source. This is followed by minimization, which involves optimizing processes to reduce excess materials and emissions. Next, we have reuse, where certain materials such as solvents or packaging are repurposed whenever possible. Recycling comes next, allowing us to recover valuable components from waste. When recycling is not possible, we move to energy recovery, which involves converting waste into usable energy. Treatment follows, where hazardous pharmaceutical waste is neutralized to minimize its impact. Finally, at the bottom of the hierarchy, we have disposal, the least preferred option. Pharmaceutical waste includes expired or discarded medications, as well as waste materials with excess drugs, chemotherapy drug residues, and other contaminated materials must be handled carefully due to their toxic nature. Additionally, open or partially used drug containers and hazardous drug packaging contribute to pharmaceutical waste. Finally, contaminated garments, absorbents, and spill cleanup materials also require proper disposal to prevent environmental contamination. So, pharmaceutical waste is categorized into three main types based on its composition and disposal requirements. First, we have hazardous waste, which includes substances that are toxic, flammable, reactive, or corrosive. This can pose risk to human health and the environment if not managed properly. Next, we have non-hazardous waste, which consists of materials that do not meet hazardous criteria but still require careful disposal to prevent contamination. Lastly, we have chemotherapy waste, which includes cytotoxic drugs used in cancer treatments. These require specialized handling due to their potential to harm living cells.
So now moving on to the wastewater treatment configuration. So it consists of preliminary, primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment. So first in the preliminary stage, it removes oil, grease, and floating particles to prevent clogging and reduce organic load. Then in the primary stage, so suspended solids are removed and BOD and COD are reduced through coagulation and sedimentation. And next, in the secondary stage, it utilizes biological processes to degrade pollutants and settle biological sludge for the reducing BOD and COD. And finally, in the tertiary stage, so it filters residual solids, absorbs pharmaceutical residues, and ensures that the treated water is safe for reuse or discharge. So this structured approach ensures effective wastewater treatment for pharmaceutical industry. So to give you a detailed diagram. So this diagram provides a detailed overview of the pharmaceutical wastewater treatment process, highlighting key stages from initial grease removal to final water purification. So this will be further discussed by the next reporter.
Now let's dive into the stages of pharmaceutical wastewater treatment. First, we have the preliminary treatment, which focuses on removing large contaminants before further processing. The effluent from the plant first enters the oil and grease trap, which captures floating oils and grease, preventing blockages and equipment damage in later stages. Once separated, the pre-treated wastewater moves forward to the primary treatment stage for further purification. In primary treatment, the goal is to regulate wastewater flow, balance pH, and remove suspended solids through chemical and physical processes. So the wastewater moves to the equalization tanks 1 and 2. These tanks balance variation in flow rate and pollutant concentration, ensuring a steady and controlled treatment process. Next, we move to the neutralization tank. So to optimize chemical reactions, pH is adjusted using sodium hydroxide and air in this tank. Proper pH levels are essential for effective coagulation and precipitation of contaminants. Next, the wastewater moves to the flash mixer, wherein a rapid mixing process introduces ferric sulfate, sodium hydroxide, and lime, which aid in coagulation. These chemicals help small particles in water come together, making them easier to remove. Air is also introduced for easier mixing. Next, they move to the primary clarifier. At this stage, alum and polyelectrolytes are added to further enhance the coagulation process. The suspended solids settle at the bottom as sludge, while the clarified water moves on to the secondary treatment for biological or advanced processing. Now let's dive into the stages of pharmaceutical wastewater treatment. First, we have the preliminary treatment, which focuses on removing large contaminants before further processing. The effluent from the plant first enters the oil and grease trap, which captures.
So in secondary treatment, the goal is to remove biological contaminants. And after primary treatment, it first undergoes in the aeration tank wherein we add urea and diammonium phosphate. And these two contains phosphorus and nitrogen, which helps in enhancing microbial activity for the breakdown of organic pollutants. And after aeration tank, it will undergo secondary qualifier wherein the activated sludge return, and this sludge helps in maintaining microbial efficiency for further breakdown of organic pollutants. And after secondary qualifier, it will undergo tube settler wherein the solids and the sludge settles out, and after that it will undergo secondary collection tank wherein we add air to control bacterial growth, and also we settle out the excess sludge, and here the water is already partially treated. And before undergoing tertiary treatment, it will undergo first in treated water tank wherein it will be purified further.
We will now move on to tertiary treatment. So this stage focuses on further refining the treated water by removing residual solids and pharmaceutical residue to ensure it is safe for reuse or discharge. After secondary treatment, fine particles still remain in the water, so a sand filter of layers of sand and gravel removes these impurities through straining and sedimentation. Following sand filtration, the water then passes through an activated carbon filter, which has a high surface area with micro and mesopores, which effectively capture contaminants, and this absorbs dissolved chemicals, odors, and pollutants, which improve the quality of water. The filtered water is then directed to the treated water collection tank, where it is temporarily stored, and this tank acts as a buffer to regulate the flow of treated water before it is either reused or discharged. And the final treated water is now free of contaminants, which can be reused for non-potable industrial applications, such as cooling systems, cleaning and manufacturing processes, and irrigation if allowed by regulation. This final stage ensures optimal water recovery and sustainability while minimizing wastewater discharge and environmental impact. As you have discussed the important details for the pharmaceutical wastewater treatment process, it's now time to analyze the proposed solutions for this. One major issue in this is the high energy consumption required for aeration, pumping, and filtration processes. This significantly increases operational cost and environmental footprint. To address this, we propose implementing energy-efficient equipment and integrating renewable energy sources such as solar panels. This will help reduce operational cost and lower the environmental impact over time. However, the initial capital investment for this can be quite high, making implementation a challenge for some facilities. Another significant issue is the excess sludge produced during treatment, which is difficult to manage and dispose of properly. One effective solution is utilizing sludge digestion methods, including anaerobic and aerobic processes. These methods help reduce sludge volume while also recovering biogas for energy production. This not only lowers sludge disposal costs, but also generates renewable energy, contributing to sustainability. On the downside, implementing these processes requires additional infrastructure and continuous monitoring.
Toxic chemicals present in pharmaceutical wastewater can inhibit microbial activity, which is crucial for biological treatment. To combat this, we recommend pre-treating industrial wastewater, conducting regular monitoring for toxic shock loads, and using bioaugmentation techniques. This approach protects biological treatment efficiency and prevents system failure. However, these methods demand frequent monitoring, testing, and potentially specialized bacteria, adding to operational expenses. Lastly, clogging and fouling of filters can reduce system efficiency and increase maintenance needs. We propose regular backwashing, advanced membrane filtration such as ultrafiltration, and pre-treatment screening. These methods extend equipment lifespan and improve overall filtration efficiency. However, they also increase maintenance frequency and water loss during backwashing, which must be carefully managed.